I came back from my little vacation and look at what we got.
It's been a whirlwind of a week.
See the olive date 8, that's nice.
I guess we could narrow it down to Jubilee only.
Today was actually Trent's last day.
Personally, I'm going with the GMT.
It's like Christmas morning.
Jubilee it is.
I know a guy.
See how much he's gonna charge me.
So the first thing we're gonna look at is the bezel. People lose their watches to the ocean left and right.
I'm gonna go make it happen.
Just a bunch of clocks.
Hey, Mr. Donovan.
What's good, bro?
What's going on, man? Always a pleasure to see you.
It's my guy Vic.
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
Victor Grand Caliber. What's up?
Hey.
It's good, man.
Welcome to the new place.
What's up, Marco?
What's happening, dude?
Long time.
It's been a minute.
How you
All right, good, good.
I came back from my little vacation and look at what we got, man.
Yeah, it looks a lot different in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, see the olive date 8, that's nice. It's stepping up.
Trying to. I got it retail.
Nice. Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Got it in like what?
Can you state the name of the 80 and the sales rep who helped you for the
Absolutely
camera?
not.
You want to know what they thought about doing? So you know that
Jellyfish.
big deep sea that they just came out with? They want to put one in there.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I mean, it's too big to wear, so you might as well display it in a reef tank.
I mean, that's what they're diver watches,
Exactly.
right? Like this one's like a diver watch.
Yep.
the seals hold up. That's what I'm curious about. So we'll find out. I don't know. We'll
I guess
throw one in
all
there.
one
That's how
way
you
to
know if
find
it's
out.
counterfeit or not. You
Hey,
just stick
right.
it in there.
No,
and see,
but-
is it real? Just drop it in.
Think about it. How many people
Shark.
lose their watches to the ocean, right? Like people
That's
lose
true.
their watches to the ocean left
Yeah.
and right.
Yeah.
So what happens over time? We're gonna test it with a brand new deep sea. No, I'm
good,
kidding. We're
right,
not really
right.
literally gonna do that. Just
I hear you are picking up some watches for some lucky people.
So we have a bonus at our company. So you hit X amount of sales depending on the department, and then you get bonus to watch a Rolex.
Man.
So we started this promotion or the bonus a couple years ago. My VP was one of the first people to hit it. Hit 2
remember
million
that.
in sales,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, we can't just do it for one guy. We got to do it for everybody and motivate
What's your
them.
company called?
Equity Cash Offer.
Equity Cash
Yeah.
Offer. Nice.
Yeah, we buy and sell houses around Texas.
Well, it sounds like people are hitting bonuses left and right because every time
Yeah.
my phone rings, I'm like, dang, Donovan got another
Man,
one?
Yeah, I mean they can buy them themselves. I mean they make good money, but it's
Yeah.
just like it goes a lot further when you can give somebody something that's not money, just to show their appreciation and hard work.
I mean, it
But
says a lot about you. I mean, that's big.
appreciate it.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, let's check out some pieces, see what you
Yeah, let's
think.
see what you guys got.
Most of the sport models here, these would be like the Omegas.
All right, so
Cartiers.
we have two people that hit it. We have Krista that hit hers, and then Reed that hit his. Krista's a girl, so I don't know if you guys have girl pieces.
We do.
What did you tell me earlier? Like the Rolex dealers hate you guys.
Oh, they do, man. I can't walk in there. I took my girl in there because I wanted her to get the experience that everybody talks about. So we walked in and nobody even looked at her, said hello. She was
Dang.
pissed. She was pissed because she didn't understand.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just walking in. But I told her, hey, they know who I am.
Dang.
I'm sorry. But I got her one from here, so it's all good. But man, just depending on what you're looking for, I got a few 36 millimeters. This one here is going to be a little bit older model. That's a factory diamond dial. Wimbledon is always hot, champagne dial there. Which one is that?
Is that a Richard Mille?
Yes, sir.
Sheesh. Is that an AP?
Factory diamond bezel.
Well, the
But
watch
yeah,
market's great right now just because prices are going down. So
Seriously,
hopefully,
on everything,
hopefully I
man.
can get
We've
some
been
deals.
hitting record-breaking months because of the market being down.
yeah.
So that's what I try to focus on is margins.
Yeah.
If it was a 50K watch, you sell it for 51. Now
Yeah.
that watch is 30, you sell it for 31. If I can get you a watch at wholesale, it's gonna keep you coming back.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. What is this, a GMT?
Mm-hmm. Vintage Pepsi.
All right, well, I guess I can narrow it down. Omar got that, and I got
Yeah,
Reed.
sure.
I think I got Reed this one, except for his was bigger, right? It was like a 40.
41.
Yeah, 41.
That'd be the 36. But
This is
if it's
36,
for,
okay.
you said 2 women, so. And it's the Wimbledon. That seems to be the cream of the crop with the dials there. 28 millimeters.
This is 28?
Uh-huh.
This is a 36.
That's a 36, yep.
I like this one. I guess we could narrow it down to Jubilee only.
I'm gonna sit out the ones that kind of caught your eye at first.
Well, let's take those for the girls, and let's pick Reed out one.
All right. These will be mostly the sport models right here. Couple Hulks, Hulk and the Starbucks.
Can we see the
Batgirl,
Hulk? Same?
Starbucks, and then this is the Hulk. So you see the green on green dial here. This is a 40 millimeter versus that one being a 41.
You know what? With Reed's very like artsy, so I think he might have a taste for like an older GMT type watch.
Get you some options right there.
Hello, how are y'all doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, I'm Deja.
Deja,
Nice to meet you.
Can I use your wrist?
Sure.
All right, can you try this on for
It
me?
may not fit me, we'll see.
Oh, that fits great.
Yeah, this is pretty. I feel like if you're gifting them, smaller is better because this is almost like a bracelet.
Yeah.
It's easier to pair with other stuff for women as opposed to the bigger one that's like a watch.
So these are both 36s, right?
Yep, both of these are 36. 28 millimeters, so they're slightly bigger.
They both look good.
Yeah.
Krista hit hers. Layla's is coming up. You know what? I think I should buy one for Lauren, my COO.
You definitely should.
Hey, right? It's on the right.
I mean, the prices seem good right now. So I mean, we got some good options. I don't know.
I don't know. I like the 28 more, just because the 26 is so small. This is more of an in between. Like this is a bracelet. You know, like you can layer this with a million
We
things.
should buy one for Lauren, huh?
Hey,
I do.
everybody, you get a watch.
You can't go wrong with any of these.
Well, I know Vic, you'll hook me up if I get multiple.
Oh, yeah.
I guess with Reed, we're in between these two. Maybe I'll just shoot him a text. You want like Jubilee band or
The oyster.
the Oyster?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Yeah, so it looks like this one's gonna be the winner.
Jubilee it is.
Cool thing about having a relationship with Vic, I know he's not gonna take advantage of me.
Nah, I can't do that.
So I trust him with the prices.
You know,
so.
it's crazy because the turnover. I mean, I can't tell you how many people will buy a watch on a Monday and by Wednesday they're already wanting to trade it in. Or just so I have to be able to buy it back, you know, at a good price. And if I sell it too high,
Let's get 3 of them.
okay. So I know you said that one.
This
there.
one.
We were trying to
then
decide
the
between
2 small ones.
both small ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll roll out the 36 millimeters.
Let's do this one, this one, and then these 3.
Perfect. Cool.
See how much he's gonna charge me. Might have to put one back.
I'm gonna make it right for you, man. You do too much business here. All right, my man. Now the fun part, I'm gonna take care of you on these. I know this is a lot that you're doing for your company, and you do buy a lot from me. So what we're looking at total, the 26 millimeter factory diamond dial is gonna be 12K. This 28 millimeter is gonna be 8,500, and then the back girl is gonna be 17.
So what's the total for all 3?
Total. Man, you must love your people.
So it's what, 33, 7?
Yeah.
Let's do 32, call it a day. 32, and I'll give you a watch to sign.
What watch you have? Was it the champagne?
Yeah, the champagne.
36 millimeter date just still brand new on one?
Yeah, brand new box, everything.
Okay.
2022.
Probably gas around 11, 5, 12. Let's try for 12, man. I want to maximize your return on that. So if I can get 32, and we can sign that for 12.
Yes. Yes.
That's a deal.
That's a deal.
I'm gonna make it happen.
Let's
man.
go.
I'm gonna go make it happen.
Well, I got ridiculed for not having that fish tank on that wall behind the logo. And so now it's on the blue wall, but there's nothing above the blue wall. So it kind of looks a little bare. Right in that blue spot up top, we have to put something in there. We are going to put up a clock. 4 clocks. AP 15500 ST with the Grand Caliber logo.
Where did you get those?
Secret. Comment below if you want to know. So we got 4 of them, and so I'm thinking 4 different time zones. It's as big as the fish tank, so 5 or 6 would have been too big. This way it's proportional with the fish tank. Obviously there's got to be a Dallas clock. We need 3 other cities. I'm thinking the UK, Japan, and maybe New York. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. 4 of these, that means a handyman's got to come out and put them up, or just myself with a screwdriver.
Are they all AP?
They're all AP, they're all the same color. We wanted to keep it consistent. They actually make this in a ton of different models. So there's Submariners, I think there's some GMTs out there. I think there's some Pateks too. Just a bunch of different models, different brands. But we wanted something that was consistent. We didn't want a hodgepodge of different watches up there. And we wanted the white dial just because it's gonna be on that blue background. So it's gonna look a lot more, in my opinion, cleaner. So yeah, just a bunch of clocks.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to this authentication segment. Before we start, I just want to thank you guys in the comment section for the love and support of the segment. This is something that I take a lot of pride in. I'm definitely going to continue this, and it's only going to get better. We've implemented the microscope, so I know you guys are going to learn a lot from that. So here we go. Very first watch, Rhodium Datejust 126. 334 Datejust 41. First thing we're gonna look for is if it's a, well, it's definitely not new. Pre-owned, but it looks like it's never been polished. And one thing that I've told you guys before is when we're looking at a watch that's never been polished, you wanna make sure everything is super, super crispy. So the first thing we're gonna look at is the bezel. That's gonna tell you right away. So whenever you're looking at a bezel, what you wanna see is you wanna see the sharpness. It's almost like looking at a saw blade. You wanna see each individual point come to a perfect, almost to a perfect point. When they're polished, they don't come to that perfect point. They kind of round off at the top. So this one's pretty perfect. You can see some really nice deep grooves in there and nice, you know, cuts in the bezel. It's exactly what I would be looking for in an unpolished watch. Looks like it was slightly worn. This is what they would call a slider. It's like new, but it's got some hairlines just from being worn a few times. Otherwise, the watch is what it is. Datejust 41, rhodium dial. Beautiful watch. Is this the first Rolex we have without dust on the dial? Oh wait, it's on the hands. My bad, guys. This is actually a pretty nice dial. I don't see a lot of issues with it. On the hour hand, there's a blemish. Actually, the microscope has a name. Her name is Judge Judy, just so you guys know. She judges everything that comes through these doors. At the end, she has the last call. Next watch. I don't know what this watch is either, but that's kind of the fun of it. It's like Christmas morning every time I do this, so it's actually really fun for me. Blue Milgauss, 116400 GV. One thing to notate about Milgausses, is they have very, very expensive crystals. They have that green tint on them, so if it is chipped, this actually drops the value quite a bit on this watch. So it's something you definitely want to look out for if you own one of these, because they're really hard to find in the gray market. And also, if you do find one loose, they're typically $500 to $700 versus $200 to $300 for a non-coated crystal. Dial, as I mean, it's a blue vignette. Let's see what's going on with the dial. Well, I mean, the only thing to notate about it is as you guys know about these watches, particularly, they have the lightning bolt hand, which is something very significant to the reference 6541, which is the original Milgauss. If you guys have time, look up the Rolex 6541. You'll notice that watch predecesses this watch by far. And I'll tell you something really interesting. If you ever come across a 6541 in the wild, it'll have a waffle-like dial. Market prices on those are actually, that's a $300,000 Milgauss versus this is in the realm of $13,000. I think the handset on one of those would get you one of these. If you find original lightning bolt hand off of a 6541, that would be insane. Nothing too notable about the dial as far as condition, everything goes. It looks pretty good.
Do you think that Z Blue dial will go matte over time?
I don't know, it's sunburst. I haven't seen a lot of sunburst go matte, that's the thing. I think over time it might discolor. I hope it turns purple. I mean, that would be really cool, because historically, blue sunbursts have turned purple or brown, so it could tropic, it could go tropic, we don't know. Of course, me, the vintage lover that I am, I hope I hope these modern watches do something over time and don't just stay in this boring state, but hey, it's not a boring watch, it's fun to see things turn over time. But yeah, everything looks good though. Light wear and tear, this isn't something that was heavily worn. You're gonna see some very, very fine hairlines on this, nothing too major. Otherwise, it looks to be unpolished. Yeah, it's got that very nice straight grain on the clasp. Nice watch. The next watch, sold order per Vic, and it is a nice watch. Blue dial, 228239 with the sunburst blue with the 3D Romans, which again, this is a very, very, very beautiful watch in person. This is a modern piece that I would put the checklist on, because like this is very, very much a watch that you can really almost wear daily. You can wear it in pretty much any kind of situation you could imagine and really get away with it. There's a lot of watches you cannot do that with when it comes to this model number, but this particular one, it just goes with everything. I mean, it goes with your blue jeans, it goes with a suit and tie, it goes with the dinner apparel, whatever you want to do with it, it looks great. Obviously, the one thing I always find on these watches is a little bit of dust right above the word Rolex. There's one dot right over the O. Otherwise, watch checks out, looks good. I don't see any issues. Good to go. Yeah, 228239. This is probably one of the nicest ones I've seen. This and the olive green date 8 are my favorites. We finally got a coffee machine that I've approved of, and we've been drinking this LDU coffee. I actually really like this. I mean, it smells phenomenal. So if you're a coffee lover out there and you have a bean recommendation, please send it to me, because I'm always trying new beans. What's this? This is it needs photos. Oof, okay. Okay, well, I don't know what's the deal with this watch. I'm not too sure, but we'll talk about it real quick. It's a 16610, but I'm gonna show you guys what happens when they're over polished. And this is just something you cannot undo. This watch I would call rough condition. It's a 16610. Everything looks correct as far as the type of bezel it has. The older 16610s will have a more flat 4 on the insert. So obviously you guys are familiar with the flat 4 Kermits, but the reason that 4 is flat from the get-go is because that was actually the style prior to the change, which happened right around 2004, 2005, when they went to the more pointier 4s. So believe it or not, the bezel matters on your 16610. If it has a service bezel, it would be a very pointy 4 if it's an older sub, or if it's a Z serial or a D serial, it will also have the pointy 4 from the factory. So getting right into this watch, first thing I noticed, insert's pretty rough. It's got a cracked pearl. This is something you really need a loop to see when you're looking at pearls, unless they're really cracked, then you'll just see it right away. Lots of corrosion throughout the bezel. It's not the nicest. And one thing I'm going to, notate about the bezel on this, it's very rounded off. So when you look at it with the microscope, you'll see what I'm talking about around the edges. It's just very soft looking. It's not pleasant. It doesn't have that grippy feel. You can see the reaction in the hands and in the lume plots. It's just really pretty. Obviously no chamfers, lots of thinning out of the, lugs. So the lugs are like probably about 25% down from when they were factory. Biggest thing that's going to stand out about this watch is the Rolex crown is just about gone. It is pretty much polished off. And at that point, you really would want to start looking at replacing this buckle. The bracelet overall is in okay shape. One thing I always check is, to see how loose a bracelet is. You just hold it to the side like that, and you'll see that it's about 85% 95% strong, no issues. I'm totally fine with that. I like to check the top of the links for dings or dents or any kind of imperfections that would like cause the bracelet to not work properly. This watch would get a strong 4 out of 10 from me if I was going to give it a rating. Definitely going to be below 5 simply because the cornet is pretty much gone and it's something that would be replaced because it's starting to look questionable. That gets a 4 out of 10. Next watch, saw this watch earlier today. This is a 16613 two-tone sub with a very nice cornet. As this is the one thing that is actually commonly gone on these are the gold through 16613s. A lot of the times these are polished down, and this one's actually pretty nice and noticeable, so it looks like it hasn't been too polished before. This has the correct insert. This is gonna be gold, so when you've got gold on these, you're gonna see a lot of softness. Just from even one polish can get these things looking pretty soft pretty fast. Bezel is pretty, pretty crisp, but there is some softness to the surface. Pretty good, overall in very nice shape. Lots of dust on the dial, my God. In fact, there's so much dust on this, I'm probably gonna send it to the watchmaker to have them clean it up, because that's just ridiculous. You could probably blow it off in one puff. Edges are decent. You can kind of make out where the chamfers are on this watch. So it's been polished once, maybe twice, I'd say once. You can kind of make out an edge where the chamfers were. Otherwise, it's a pretty tight watch. So that has a very, very nice bracelet. That's something we always check when we're wholesaling. We always ask for that picture to make sure bracelets look good, cornet looks good. This is a very nice watch, complete box and papers. It's an F model, so it does have the correct flat 4 insert. So they kind of stopped that right around F, and then going into D, they went to the pointy 4. So this is all correct. No issues with this watch. 16610 LV. It's a pretty nice watch. Strong bracelet, strong case. Doesn't have chamfers though, so it's definitely been polished, but it's very lightly polished. Otherwise, it's pretty nice. The only thing I noticed, it's got a cracked pearl. And this insert had me questioning it. What I don't like about it is the printing goes all the way to the very edge and almost bleeds over to the other side. The top of the 5, top of the 4 goes right up to the edge. It's just kind of questionable. I kind of gave this bezel insert a 50-50 whether it's not original or not, because sometimes if it is original, it's just not printed properly. If it's not original, then it's a very, very good one. I've seen some very high quality aftermarket inserts that you almost can't tell. So dial's perfect. I don't see any issues with it. Here's something that I've always noticed about Rolex, and it freaked me out the first time I saw it. Always seems to be on these 16610s especially, there's always a halo of glue that goes around the Cyclops. Believe it or not, Cyclops are not part of the crystal. They're actually glued on. One thing I always look at are the 4s. So this is the pointed 4 insert, not the flat 4. Flat 4 green inserts on a Kermit bring a lot of money, especially if they're complete sets. You can find market values of those in this market around 24 to 26,000 for an F. The early Ys can still bring up to 29 to 30,000 because they only come with a serial Y9. I mean, you cannot have a Y8, a Y7, a Y6. It is Y9 and then F0. And this is something I get asked a lot. When is it okay to be flat 4? When is it not okay? So for example, I got a call this morning from a local dealer asking me about a Kermit. They were asking if it's a correct flat 4. I looked at it. The first thing I noticed right away were the papers. They said D serial. Said cannot be a flat 4. Doesn't work that way. And they said, why not? The insert's flat 4 on it now. So when I looked at it, it was an aftermarket insert. So I said, it doesn't even work that way. Anyways, so after F5, you really shouldn't have a flat 4. It should be Y9 to F4, F5 right there. F6 on up. As collectors, we like to see pointed 4s on those. So if you have an F8 serial number and it's got a flat 4, it's most likely not correct and won't be, widely won't be acceptable to collectors. I was in Vegas for the IWJG show and I popped into Rolex. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but I ended up buying a mint Datejust at retail, which was kind of cool, but I don't think I'm allowed in Rolex. I don't know. I've been kicked out of a few stores just for looking in the window. They just kind of tell me to keep walking. That's all right. But anyways, mint green Datejust. It's not the one I bought, but this is a 126234 brand new. It came in for a sold order for a client of mine that bought it for his wife, so that's really exciting. It's a very, very pretty watch. I think this watch is going to age very well. If anything's ever going to go tropic, in my opinion, it's going to be this watch. I think this would turn into some crazy color down the road. I hope so, because this style has a lot of potential to do so, and it's very simplistic. It looks very good. This one I already actually looped out because I wrapped it, went and printed and wrapped it, but it is good to go. True new watch, no issues with it. One thing to look for on a brand new watch is, again, I can't stress it enough, guys, go straight for the bezel. Look at the edges of the bezel. That's going to tell you right away. Anywhere there's a lot of edging, you're going to see the effects of a polishing wheel, but this is obviously true new. We know where it came from, fresh from an AD. No need to really be too investigative with it, so it's good to go. This is a watch I glanced at earlier. I didn't inspect it yet, but what's sold to us is brand new, and it's something that I actually kind of personally want for myself. I think this watch is just really awesome to be a daily wearer, especially when you're trying to be low key and you don't want too much attention. This is the perfect watch, and it's actually an Omega. So let's see here. Dark Side of the Moon Apollo 8 Omega Speedmaster. The fact that it's all black, just perfect. Lately, I've been kind of wanting an all black watch, and I think this is right now a huge contender on my books. Here's what's interesting about this watch. Even if it was used, it's extremely difficult to tell it's used. The only way to tell really if it's used is look for damage, or you're gonna look for strap wear, because this is made out of ceramic. Everything about this watch is very, very, very scratch resistant. So this watch, if you are like me and you wear your watches extremely light, you're not gonna show wear and tear on this watch. This is another reason I love this watch, because it's gonna stay that new look almost forever. Really nice features on the dial. So one thing I wanna talk about this dial is the texture they put on the dial looks like the surface of the moon. So that's what's really, really notable about this watch. Very rustic looking as far as like that, the surface texture, the way they printed the word Omega, Speedmaster, it comes together very nicely. So the front and back of this is supposed to look like the surface of the moon. I'd love to show it to you, but unfortunately with this watch, it has a serial number covering the whole back, so we cannot reveal that. Maybe if Matt can get around the microscope and he can hide the serial number, then we'll be good to go. What you want to look for on a used strap is just creases, because over time they'll start creasing in certain areas, especially where the buckle meets the strap. This one's basically been strapped just for the pillow, so I mean, it does look true new. I don't see any issues with this watch. Current market for these right now are anywhere from 85 to 9,500. I think at the peak they were trading around 14 to 15,000. So this is a great time to get into one of these. I think these will age well, and I think they're great holds for the future. And the final watch of this segment is Omega Snoopy. So this is a really cool watch. It's got like a denim style case, so the case is really interesting. When you get one of these watches, they actually do not come on a bracelet. This watch only comes on a strap. So it is something that you can go out and buy the correct bracelet for it that fits it, but it's not correct for the reference number. So it does not actually come from the factory that way. And here's something really interesting I didn't know about the Snoopies, is when you give it a good wind, I love that sound. Yeah, that sound is just so satisfying. I'll tell you something you can film is the back, you have to start the chronograph. You'll see the moon, and then if you give it a second, Snoopy's gonna come flying around the corner. There he is. So you have Snoopy that flies from around, he goes around the moon, goes around the earth. So that is just a cool perk of owning this watch, is you get a little animation with it. Again, beautiful watch. This is a pre-owned Snoopy. So I'm just gonna check for any damages, any refinish. Does not look to be repolished, which is good. Same concept for Omega applies with Rolex. We wanna look at the grain, make sure the grain is nice and straight, nice even straight grains. We're not looking to see, nothing too crisscross and all that other nonsense you see with refinished watches. There you go. This is the Snoopy Omega Speedmaster. What could you do in 14 seconds? If you know, you know. One thing to notate is the pillow actually holds the loop. You can use the pillow as a loop. I mean, technically you can leave the loop inside of the pillow and just use the pillow, I guess. But why would you do that? It's a weak magnification too, isn't it? You need one of these. I know you guys keep asking about this damn loop. I went to IWJG, and the guy that was supplying these was not there this show, so I didn't get the chance to talk to him. A lot of people weren't there that I needed to talk to, so my strap connection was not there and my loop connection was not there. I don't think we're going to the December show. I'm hoping for January or February to get something lined up for these. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that segment. We're gonna keep these coming. I do have an exciting watch to show you on a separate note. We're gonna go pick that up. Stay tuned and stay along with us on these segments, and I'm really happy you guys enjoy it. We're gonna keep them going.
Doing a little business update. No, this is not my desk. It's been a whirlwind of a week. On Tuesday, we launched our giveaway, the Rolex giveaway, which has been going great. We also announced the drop of our apparel. That has been a little tricky. We initially wanted to make sure that it was available to not only people here in the US, but also people abroad, Canada, Mexico, UK, most of Europe, parts of Asia. We had a little bit of a tough launch. Obviously, anyone here in the US could have bought it, but when you went to checkout, you could not select a different country. So I'm actually working with Shopify to activate the international market. We had all the shipping countries picked out, but we never actually turned on the international segment of Shopify. So that's a real bummer. That's really on me. Can't believe I overlooked it. We've been doing a lot with our website, so if you guys haven't looked at our website, the checkout process is brand new. The instructions step by step on how to consign, sell, or trade in a watch is there. On top of that, we did have some personnel changes. I've told you guys in a couple episodes ago that we are going to be switching some people in and out of Grand Caliber. Today was actually Trent's last day. We wish Trent well. He is headed to San Francisco for a different opportunity outside of the watch industry. We also did finally confirm our next hire. They're going to be coming in really as COO for the company. To start, they're going to really manage that sales team, but also help build the company culture, company values. They're going to be in charge of recruiting and hiring, leadership development. So they are going to be starting in January. So I'm excited about where this company is headed. I think we're getting to the structure that we want. But yeah, it's been a busy week with the apparel launch, the giveaway. So if you guys haven't, check out our apparel, our hoodies, our shirts, our polos. Grab one. If you are abroad, by the time you're watching this video, you should be able to purchase some too. So take a look. What I wasn't expecting, I had a lot of people reach out asking for XXL, triple XL, even 4XL shirts and polos and hoodies. It's not that we overlooked this demographic. It's our first ever apparel launch in the middle of a recession. So we didn't want to get all of these different sizes and colors and designs. We started with a fairly small sample size, so it is, I guess, in a sense limited at the moment. So I felt like it was better to get, smalls, mediums, large, and extra larges. In the future, we will have more colors and more sizes. So if you don't have a size that fits you, just wait, we will get to it. But being our first launch, I just wanted to be a little bit more tactical and get a smaller batch just to test the market before we expand. So I apologize, but I hear you. We will eventually get it done for you.
Welcome back, guys. We're gonna do another showroom showcase. I have a few things that I think you're all gonna really want to see. So let's take the first one over here. Here's a special watch, actually. This is the first modern Rolex I ever got any wrist time with, the GMT Green Hand. So it's the 116710LN. Currently, we have this available for $13,500. It's a 2014 complete set. Obviously, it's a discontinued 1-1 reference, so it has the black ceramic with the green hand. If you're deciding between this and a Submariner, honestly, I think this gives you a little bit more watch because you can track that second time zone, which personally for me, I think is a lot more useful than, what the Sub does as far as being a timer. For under $15,000, you're getting an actual GMT function with the modern Rolex being ceramic, Riot is engraved, kind of hard to beat, so let me know what you think. All right, we're gonna grab the next one. This one's a pretty big heavy hitter. As you know, this one climbed up very high and has came down to a very more reasonable price. We have this Rolex Presidential with the olive dial, rose gold. It is brand new, and we're selling it for $54,000. Never been worn, complete set. Out of all the Presidentials, would you go with rose gold and would you go with the olive dial? Or would you change up the dial, or maybe change up the precious metal, maybe white gold, or how do you feel? Personally, if I was to get a Presidential, it would be this one. I think it also gives you the most function, telling you the day and the date. It's just pretty much, it's just an icon. So the next piece we got here is just one that you don't see enough. I know when I first heard about it, I always wanted to get one in my hand. So let's go take a quick look at it. It's the Zenith Defy. It's made out of carbon. It's extremely light, really cool movement. Being 41 millimeters, it's a great piece. With this, you can see it has that little bit of a band just because you can't put the, it has that ceramic pins in there. Makes it stretch just a little bit, but also fits really well on the wrist. So it's actually really comfy with that little bit of stretch. So let us know what you think about this. I mean, it's light as a feather. If you wore this, you wouldn't even know it's on. Is this something you would rock, or would you have to get this in, steel or gold, or what would you go with? So to end it, we're gonna go with just a complete icon. One of the best watches ever. Everyone knows what this is. If you're to draw a car, you paint it red. If you're to draw a watch, you draw a Submariner. So this is the 116610LN. Good competitor to that GMT that I was talking about. Obviously, you got this here on ceramic, so it's a great piece. Let me know also what you think between the 1-2 reference and the 1-1. I personally like the 1-1. I think it fits a little nicer. 2019, and we're currently selling it for $14,000. That's box, papers, everything, fully insured and shipped. Let me grab the other one real quick. If you're picking between the two, which one are you going with? It's a great everyday piece. Personally, I'm going with the GMT. I just think the little bit of extra function with that second time zone is really cool. So let me know though, which one are you going with? Complete icon, or are you going with the GMT? Hope you liked that showroom showcase. We had a good amount of mix in here, mainly Rolex, but I think we had a nice little kind of entry level, and then we had obviously a heavy hitter, and then just something unique, something you don't see very often with that carbon Zenith. So let us know what you want to see next time. Do you want to see more Rolex? Do you want to see other brands? I mean, we're here to see what you guys want to do.
Just a quick aquarium update. Looks like we're gonna have a little bit of an algae bloom here, but it's not too bad. Everything is doing well. Corals are doing good. You know, we're having a little issues with our zoas, but other than that, everything's thriving as it should. It's a fairly large fish tank for us, so it's kind of a learning experience altogether. I think the largest tank I've personally done is around 80 gallons, so this is a 200-gallon system, so follow along as it keeps going. But other than that, everything's going well. We did lose one coral, but that's a win in my book compared to the rest of it. He's gone, bro.
No, he's hiding.
No, he's dead.
No, he's hiding. He's in the tank.
Right there, his skeleton.
Blocking the best coral.
Which one?
The one.
No, we don't show those corals.
Those are fresh from the AD corals.
You have to be on a waiting list for these. Right now, it's about a 2-year wait list. I know a guy. So in the near future, what we're gonna actually end up doing is we're gonna actually permanently mount these guys to the rock. So right now, we're just kind of monitoring all the corals, make sure everything's going well. The next thing is to actually get more corals. We're gonna start adding some livestock, some fish, some invertebrates, and so forth. So tell me down in the comments what kind of fish you'd like to see, if there's any recommendations. I know there's some reef keepers out there. I've seen you guys in the comments section. Anything that you'd recommend, let me know. We're definitely excited to see how this turns out. Can't wait to see what happens.
All right, that's it for today. Had a very successful day here at Grand Caliber. We're about to go relieve some of this stress. I know the guys at Woven have been talking. Apparently there's this place out in Plano one of our clients owns, been wanting us to come out. It's called Foaling, so it's like bowling with a football. So a little friendly competition going on. I'm ready to kick some Woven, you know. So we're gonna get this going, man. We're pretty excited. I hope you guys enjoy the journey.